Well, here we are back again with a little bit more about enzymes. You were supposed to look at a couple of paragraphs in the textbook, look at some study guide questions, and try to find the answers. I bet you did. But you may have some questions about them, so let's run through them. It says, the question is, an enzyme is a catalyst. What does that mean? Well, we talked about catalysts before, but there's now a definition here in the text that says, a catalyst is what? It says catalysts are, I'll put it in the plural, catalysts are substances that retain their original chemical composition while bringing about a change in a substrate. What? That's not what we said before. Well, we didn't have all the concepts and terminology to state this way, but this is now the way that I'd like you to state it if I was to ask this on the next 4-module test. What's that again? Catalysts are substances that retain their original chemical composition while bringing about a change in a substrate. So we've been talking about Mr. Blue Guy and Mr. Red Guy, and so what is that saying about a catalyst? An enzyme being an example of a catalyst? Yeah, it says a catalyst is a substance that retains its original chemical composition while bringing about a change in a substrate. Does Mr. Blue Guy get changed? No, Mr. Blue Guy does the changing. Mr. Blue Guy does the changing, the substrate gets changed. Mr. Blue Guy just does over and over. What have we compared Mr. Blue Guy to? In a factory, what? An assembly line worker? Sure, an assembly line worker. I worked in an assembly line when I was about the age of many of you, and I worked in a one that rebuilt auto parts, and I spent a lot of that long hot summer on the water pump assembly line. And so it was my job. Water pumps came down the assembly line. My job was to grab a water pump off the assembly line, do something with it involving a press, and put it back on the assembly line before what? Before the next water pump arrived. Yes, I was supposed to. I didn't at first. I was a little slow, but I picked up speed. And so did I get changed, or did the water pump get changed? The water pump got changed, so I was the assembly line worker. I did the changing. The water pump was like the substrate. It got changed. So, catalysts are substances that retain their original chemical composition while bringing about a change in a substrate. Now, question number 3 is another review question. In general terms, how does an enzyme perform its function? Well, again, we've been over this many times, but simply the active site closes over the substrate, changes it some way, lets it go. Active site closes over substrate, changes it some way, lets it go. Active site closes over the substrate, changes it some way, lets it go. All right, and so the next question is, though, how many chemical transformations can the fastest enzyme molecules perform per second? How many times does this happen per second with the fastest enzymes? Whoa, what does it say there? It says the fastest working enzymes can carry out how many chemical transformations per second? Whoa, 100,000. Am I doing anywhere near 100,000? No, like I'm doing about 1 per second. 100,000 be like, bzz, I mean, you know, you can't even imagine it. Do things happen kind of fast down in molecule land? They certainly do. Faster than we can possibly imagine. But without the enzymes helping out, those reactions would occur way too slowly to support life. And finally, what is an enzyme's active site? Well, now we have a technical definition. And here it is. I'm sure you found it. And it says an active site is what? It's the portion of an enzyme that binds with a substrate, thus helping transform it. The portion of an enzyme that binds with a substrate, thus helping transform it. All right. I bet you had all those before I got to them, didn't you? All right, that's it for this one.